Soda Springs is a kind of one of those teenage ambition dreams that you have to make a movie, and Soda Springs has ended up being what we've made. My friend, since I was 13 years old, Jay Pickett, he had this idea, and he is an actor. That's what he does for his livelihood. I am not, but I was always very interested in that side of the business, and looking at making a film, telling a story, and everything that goes along with that. So Soda Springs is what we did. It's a story about a guy who gets a second chance in life. We tried to make it where it was a story that had a beginning, a middle, and an end, but at the same time threw in some twists and tried to basically create a character that it's an audience that the audience wants to pull for. One of the things that I've been fortunate enough to travel the world, and Idaho is an incredibly beautiful place, and I wanted to kind of capture that, if you will. In our so when we were looking for our director of photography, as a total side note, Jay and I had talked to several people that had done amazing work, but we were fortunate enough to find a guy named Jeff Smith from the great state of Idaho, and he's a primarily what he does do some feature films, but primarily what his day job is, what he does is he films commercials. And so when you see those commercials in these cars in these incredible locations throughout the world, and you're always like, wow, wonder why they have a car in this in the Amazon jungle. But it caught my attention. More than likely Jeff probably was the director of photography, and so we were fortunate enough to get him to come back here. He lives in Los Angeles, and film this. And it was nice because, like I said, the state is really beautiful and the people are so welcoming, and I think that Jeff did an amazing job of finding all those locations and being able to find the angles and the lighting and to really put it up on film. So that was one of the goals, and that was more of a personal thing there. It was almost like I wanted to show off Idaho to a lot of people that don't really get a chance to come here. My other business that I've done and do is more traditional business, where when you're making films, it's art colliding with business, which can be incredibly frustrating because I like to hit schedules, I like to hit budgets, the things that I can control, I find I can't control when it comes to making the movie. But I had to instill discipline, and we put those into action. So I really, again, we're budgeting, we are time management, we are managing people's expectation. Whether you're on location and you're shooting, the shots lasting a lot longer than anyone ever thought it was going to, but we know it's not right yet. We got to keep trying. So managing the situation there. So that is a lot of what I spent. I tried to keep things on schedule. I tried to keep things on budget, and I tried to keep really not compromise on what we wanted to do. Because at the end of the day, I knew that we could crank out a movie, but I didn't want to compromise to the extent of, well, we did it, I completed it, there's a finished product, there it is in its DVD case. That wasn't important to me. It was more important to getting a finished product that I can say, you know what, we worked hard, we did the best we could with the budget we had, and there we go. Because there were times when they'd come to me and say, do you know what a helicopter shot would look like right now? And I'm just, look at the numbers here. We're not getting a helicopter, so maybe climb that tree. I came to the College of Idaho, and they graciously accepted me. I think I kicked in my senior year, and I think they saw the potential there. And so I came here with not a great foundation. I know a lot of my classmates really had been really prepared from high school and were ready to take on this beast at times, and for me, it was harder to do that. I had to really dig deep, if you will, to create that foundation. So the College of Idaho really nurtured me and created an environment for me to be able to do that. So that was one of the first things. And then the personal, interaction with the professors was just, unparalleled. It was great. I would say I'm a really good business student. I would say that I'm a pretty good history student. I would say that I'm not a great math or science student. And there were times when I had to be creative, I had to dig deep, and I had to come up with, everyone else was going down this way because it made sense to them, and I had to go this way, circle around to get to where they all were, because wasn't my skill set, but they taught me how to figure out there's other ways. It's not just one way. So that was super important. I spent a lot of my adult life in business, but in a business that I knew and I felt like I could control at times. Not always, but where this one really pushed me to challenge myself on a lot of fronts. We were a small enough organization that, when we put this together, that we really had to, everyone's opinion mattered, and my role, my title, if you will, as executive producer really scaled everything from, the most smallest detail on, what should catering fix for the people tomorrow, to, who's the leading lady we're going to cast opposite of the star. So out of my comfort zone, I think that was it, and taking the chance on that, because it's easy to just kind of hang back to what you know, but there's a little bit of, again, not to sound too corny, but this is your life and you got to kind of live it, and sometimes if you don't run and jump off the rock and into the lake from a distance that you're not as comfortable with, then you don't really grow anymore. And so I kind of felt the need to grow.